Our top focus as of now, Ethiopia has declared a nationwide state of emergency. Residents of Addis Ababa have been ordered to prepare to defend their neighborhoods, and this comes amid fears that rebels were heading for the capital. The measure comes after several days of reported advances of the rebel group, the Tigray People's Liberation Front. It is engaged in a brutal year-long war against Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government. Local media reports say that possible restrictions include a curfew, road closures and the search for anyone suspected of collaborating with the group. Authorities have been allowed to conscript any military-aged citizen who has weapons. Media outlets believed to be giving moral support to the group directly or indirectly will be suspended. Abiy Ahmed has urged citizens to cooperate with law enforcement agencies. He added that it is inevitable that every person will be tested. Earlier on Tuesday, officials in Addis Ababa had announced new security measures for 5 million residents. The measure required them to register all their firearms within 2 days. The chief of the city's Peace and Security Administration Bureau said all residents must be organized by blocks and neighborhoods to protect peace and security in their home area in coordination with security forces. Young residents would be recruited to work with law enforcement. All sections of society must cooperate with efforts to increase vigilance. In recent days, the TPLF has taken control of 2 key cities, Desi and Kombolcha. The government has denied claims that the TPLF made territorial gains. In the reports, and if they are confirmed, it would be considered to be a major strategic advance. Much of northern Ethiopia is under a communications blackout. Access for media is restricted severely, and this has made it difficult to verify various claims from credible sources. Meanwhile, the United Nations chief Antonio Guterres has joined international calls seeking an end to the fighting. He called for an immediate cessation of hostilities, unrestricted humanitarian access to urgent life-saving assistance, and an inclusive national dialogue to resolve the crisis. Several Western powers have called for an immediate ceasefire. They have also urged the African Union to broker peace talks. The US Embassy has published an advisory suggesting that its citizens reconsider traveling to Ethiopia. US President Joe Biden has revoked a vital trade pact with the country, and the move comes due to human rights concerns. In a notice to Congress, Biden said that Ethiopia's eligibility would end on January 1st over gross violations of internationally recognized human rights. For more on this story, Coletta Vanjohi is joining us live from Addis Ababa. Coletta, thanks so much for joining us. Ethiopia has declared a nationwide emergency, with residents being told to be prepared to defend their neighborhoods. How likely is it at this point that the capital will fall to the rebels?
Well, what we have now is just a projection by the rebel forces, or threats by the rebel forces that they will be able to join, to access the capital city. The government has tried to rebuff that and say that that will not happen. And probably the state of emergency that we are seeing being declared, that has yet to be approved by Parliament within the next 48 hours, is supposed to make sure that that does not happen. Well, with that, then we shall see the government beefing up security in different parts of the city, as well as different parts of the country, as well as putting up other measures that it deems fit to ensure that the capital city remains safe, and also the other parts of the country. So what we have now is threats from the rebel forces, and on the other side, government saying that it is prepared to handle those.
Right, Coletta, is there any indication of the Sudan army's involvement in this conflict in terms of funding, at least?
We don't know. We have all these allegations. What we know is the Prime Minister has said that foreign forces have supported the Tigray People's Liberation Front in the whole fight. That's from the Prime Minister himself, but he has not outlined who exactly. So what we have now is just speculation. No one knows whom he's referring to as far as the foreign forces are concerned. But that's what the government has said. But we don't know. We cannot pin and say it's these people from this country or this country.
Right, Coletta, my final question for you. The communication blackout makes getting aid into the region nearly impossible. The UN chief just said that he has called for complete cessation of hostilities in Ethiopia. We know the US president has blocked aid to the country. Will all these international calls for peace help at all, or will the crisis escalate?
Well, it's yet to be seen because by now I know the international community especially had expected that with the inauguration of the Prime Minister about 2 months ago or so, or a month ago, then we would be seeing probably measures for national dialogue to take place. But we are seeing the government has other plans in terms of ensuring that this conflict gets over. It has decided that the state of emergency will help, according to the government. It will help to ensure that peace returns and normalcy returns so that the northern region and other parts that have been affected by the conflict can be able to get the assistance that it needs. So issues of talks right now, we're not seeing that really happening, but we know on the other side the African Union through its special envoy is really striving to ensure that the warring factions really decide and agree to meet on the negotiation table. It might take some time because now we have a state of emergency for the next 6 months if that is approved by Parliament. So we might see talks and negotiations maybe taking time.
Coletta Vanjohi, thank you so much for joining us from Addis Ababa and for all those updates on the conflict underway in Ethiopia.
WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.